Is it possible to become a master of sandbag lifting while at the same time improving other aspects of fitness like endurance and mobility? Can you become a specialist while still improving in a general way for most other things? I think so, but you'll need to be very precise with how you set up your training program. Every new goal added to that list of things you wish to improve means your program needs to be that much more specialized. Today, I want to go over an exercise that may help you to maximize a sandbag-focused training routine. In my push to become a better sandbag lifter, I've had to get creative with how I do some things. I want to improve, but I'm not completely willing to become overweight and out of shape to do it. I won't give up endurance or my health. I also won't give up bodybuilding as the goal that lives at the very base of everything else. Lifting sandbags builds most of the body very well, but unless you do a lot of sandbag pressing, which I don't often do, the pressing muscles can fall behind, which does not fall in line with the goal of bodybuilding. None of this to say sandbag lifting makes you out of shape or is bad for your health, but as with any strength sport, mass moves mass. The temptation to add another 30 pounds to my frame as a way to force progress will always be there. Training time is also limited. Sandbags are incredibly effective, but they can wear you down quickly, which is actually one of the best things about them in my opinion. They give you a lot for a relatively small time investment. At the level I've been pushing the sandbag stuff, there aren't many resources left for everything else. I simply don't have enough energy to do 100 different exercises. Training in this way for multiple things at once means every exercise I do needs a clear purpose. Every exercise must serve at least 2, preferably 3 or more different functions in the program. Bodyweight calisthenics circuits have been a great way to work both my conditioning and pressing muscles. High rep ab exercise has developed my abs while at the same time improving my mind's connection with my core, making bracing easier and helping me to lift heavier sandbags. Recently I rediscovered an exercise I had completely forgotten about, and it's surprisingly effective for my goals. When working with the sandbag to shoulder, overall core stability is important, but more than anything, you need the strength to resist the pull to the side, or anti-lateral flexion strength. When a sandbag is halfway up to your shoulder, on your chest, the weight of it pulls you to one side, and without a strong core, you'll either fall over or lose hold of it. Off-center barbell exercises like the suitcase deadlift or the one-arm farmer's walk would be great for strengthening the core in a way specific to the sandbag to shoulder, as they make you resist that sideways bend. The problem is, these things are mainly posterior chain movements, just as most sandbag lifting is. In a high-frequency, high-volume sandbag training program, adding accessory movements focused on the posterior chain would be redundant. Regardless of how effective they may be, they would unnecessarily take away resources that could be used elsewhere, for things not already worked just by lifting sandbags. Said plainly, if I want more work for that specific anti-lateral flexion core strength, it will need to come alongside something else, something that also improves my secondary goals, something that isn't just more of the same. The one-arm lever press is perfect for this. The one-arm lever press, or landmine press as it's called when using a barbell, puts you off-center from the start. With the weight in your hand held against your chest, you'll need to resist that pull to the side. This starting position is actually very similar to the position a sandbag would be in when halfway to your shoulder, when resisting that sideways lean starts to become a factor. As you press the weight overhead, the demand for a stable core increases. To perform the movement, lift the lever, be it a barbell landmine setup, a log, or something else, and hold it near upper chest level with one hand. Take a deep breath and brace, making sure to keep your core rigid and unmoving at all times, and press. At the top of the movement, you may wish to shift yourself forward so the weight comes more in line with your body, similar to how you shrug your shoulders at the top of a standard overhead press. Bring the weight back down to the starting position and repeat for reps. The exercise can be done from a standing position, a kneeling position, or on your knees. When using a barbell, a standing position is probably best, as it most closely mimics how you'll need to use your body when lifting a sandbag. But if you're using a log or something else like I am in the video here, taking a lower stance may allow you to get more out of a lighter weight. With this exercise, you get the chance to work multiple things at the same time. The pressing muscles become bigger and stronger, and the core's ability to resist that sideways bend improves in a way that's very specific to shouldering a sandbag. 2 things trained with one exercise means more resources left over to work with other movements. The lever press brings my program one step closer to perfection, to the place where every single moving part has a far-reaching influence on everything else. On its own, the one-arm lever press is a great exercise, but it can be taken to an even greater level by performing the alternating version. With the alternating lever press, rather than pressing with the same arm for reps, like a strict press, you'll turn the movement into more of a throw-press combo, pushing with so much power that the weight leaves one hand and moves to the other. This makes the core stability gains you get even more beneficial. With the alternating lever press, there's also an element of force absorption added to the mix. Not only does your core need to keep you upright when pressing the weight with max power, but you also need to get it under control as it comes falling down towards you on the other side. Again, this makes the exercise more similar to the sandbag to shoulder, because during a shoulder attempt, you'll need to catch the sandbag in different positions as you move it higher up. The exercise can also be pushed much further than would be possible with a strict press. With a lighter weight, you can actually go for a very long time, many minutes in some instances. Pushing at this high level for a long time brings an element of endurance into the mix, thus giving you strength, power, and muscle added to the pressing muscles, anti-lateral flexion type core stability strength that's developed in a way very similar to how it will be used when lifting sandbags, possibly eliminating weak points in your sandbag to shoulder pattern, all while granting you conditioning and work capacity benefits as well. This is a perfect example of how having a clear goal in mind for your training makes the path you follow to get there much more obvious. The path leading to general goals is wide and unmarked, but the road to a specific destination is clear-cut. Find those things necessary for your goal and work to discover exercises and training methods that fit. Even if your goal is to be the best generalist of all time, you can at least take that thought a step further and decide on what constitutes a good generalist: muscle, strength, mobility, whatever else. It's one thing to go to the gym because you want to build muscle, but another thing entirely when you go in knowing exactly the type of physique you'd like to build. I hope you'll give the lever press a try. Let me know if you've discovered any exercises that fill multiple roles in your program for your specific goals. It's always cool to get some insight into how someone else sees their training. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.